What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Dreamstar Toys Pushing Machine Warrior, or their version of a Masterpiece scale Bonecrusher. This was sent to me by Brian W. Thanks for allowing me to take a look at your copy. He's been allowing me to hold on to all of them until we get to the combined mode. And we're on number 4, so we've got actually 3 more if you count the Prowl for Prowlestator. There's a lot of figures in this combined. I think maybe even 8. I forget now. there's a lot of members, but this is the 4th one, and I've been pretty impressed with this so far. So we'll see how this one holds up, but it does look really nice. You got some nice detail. You've got silver paint, gunmetal, red, purple, metallic, green metallic, gold paint, darker green paint, little tampo details kind of all over. Here's the back. It looks pretty cool, you know, with this canopy or the cockpit and like a little booster back here. Overall, it's just a really neat version of Bonecrusher. It is very stylized, of course. Let's go over his articulation. Head is on a ball joint, gets up to there, down to there, side to side, and rotates around. It does have a light up feature. Again, I don't have the batteries for any of these, so I haven't been showing it, but it does light up nicely. That's why they did translucent. I would have preferred painted, but it works okay. But because of the range of motion is really good on this head. Rotation at the shoulder at a ratchet. Up and down movement on a ratchet. Like, that's pretty cool. They don't often have ratchets there. Rotation at the bicep. Double jointed elbow, full bend. I just love the way this arm looks. I think it looks cool. Rotation at the wrist. Individually articulated fingers. The bottom 3 are connected together, but they do have 2 pins for articulation, but you can still point the pointer finger straight. The thumb is like really long, but it has 3 points of articulation, 2 pins, and then a ball joint. Actually, 3 pins, and then a ball joint at the base. So you get a lot of movement out of that thumb. So these hands are pretty posable. Coming down to the waist, we have a waist rotation on a ratchet. Again, another surprise there. Ab crunch gets down to there, back to there. That's pretty cool. Hip skirt, single hip skirt will move out of the way. Leg will kick up to there in a ratchet. Back to there in a ratchet. Nice clicky, good quality ratchets. Out to the side. Didn't even need a ratchet there, but they have one. Rotation at the thigh. You have a double jointed knee, so there's a joint here and here. So you can get it a little bit further. Due to the sculpt, it does stop right there, but that's some mighty fine articulation. The knee cap moves independently, so that's pretty cool. Going down to the feet, you have ankle tilts out to there. Forward and backward on the feet. And you really get a lot of articulation on this guy. We do get some nice accessories here. We get his blaster done in black shiny plastic with some silver and gray accents. Looks okay. That will plug into the hand. There's a little slot here. The peg is closer to the top of the hand. It's not like deep in, so it's easy to get it in there. And he holds that well. He also comes with 2 swords that look like this, translucent red with the gunmetal for the handle. The handle will clip into place, so just if you want it straight, you have it like that. I think there's a piece of die cast. I don't know. It feels cool, but this will fit into the hand as well. And I think this is the front. It doesn't really matter, but it will peg in that same tab that you have for the gun. And then we can close the fingers around it, and you can hold that. Or if you prefer, you can mount these on the back right here. So you can have that look. And there's one on this side too, so if you want both of them, you can. We also get this combiner part, which of course is his forearm and hand for combined mode. Looks really good. But this is also a combiner part that adds to the Build-A-Figure Megatron. So you're going to close up the thumb, fold up the fingers into a square or a cube. Come to the back here, you're going to pull out on these, and they'll allow you to open up this back piece. They're just tabbed in right here. Fold the hand in, close this up, just make those tabs come back on. Open up the toe and the heel, and there is your Megatron leg. And I'm trying to figure out if this is a left or right. It looks like it's universal, but this will slide onto here. And these are the parts that we got from the previous releases. But there you go. There's Megatron, or their version. The top part is the Devastator chest wings. The waist makes up his waist, hip skirts, and thighs. So they're really using the parts quite smartly. I think all we got left is another leg and probably a cannon for his arm, I think. But yeah, this is pretty neat. I mean, the way this is shaping up, it's a nice use of the combiner parts. And you get a whole extra figure. And for a size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. Fits in nicely with the Masterpiece scale. And for another comparison, there he is with the rest of the guys in the set. Their version of Scrapper, Hook, and Long Haul. And this is shaping up to be a really nice set. By the way, he is the smallest so far. I think the arms are going to be the smaller of the bots. They're still pretty big, you know, overall. This set, I think in general, is going to be a pretty darn big combiner. But I do love how they look together. They're very stylized, of course, but as a set, I think it's shaping up nicely. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into his alt mode. And it's a surprisingly fun and straightforward transformation. I just used the book. I didn't even look up a video, which is a good sign. So let's start on the arms. Lift this up. We're going to unpeg this from here. Unpeg this track from out here. It's just pegged in on the inside. That will allow you to open this up. We're going to rotate the hand 180 degrees. Fold it in here all the way. Extend this out. This will rotate to the top. Then you can bring the hand up. Make sure the hand is collapsed down as far as it'll go into like a cube shape. You'll see there's a peg right here and a slot underneath. So plug that in there. Straighten up the arm and bring this down like this. We're going to rotate the lower arm. Then you're going to open up this panel, unpeg it from here. Open that up all the way. Rotate this upper part of the arm. Just make sure it clears everything. Oops, and I knocked the back of his head off. He's got a battery compartment. I don't have the batteries for it, so I didn't put it in. Once you do that, you can bring this forward. This will sit down like this. This will peg back into the back. And we want to get this kind of at an angle, this top part. This will plug into here. Before we plug that in, though, we want to make sure this works its way under here. It's a little tricky. So I recommend you fold this down a little bit. Give yourself a little bit of room. Then plug this back in. Otherwise you'll have trouble getting this panel to clear right here. All right, then you can close this up on the top and match this up on the back. So there's one tread pretty much done. Actually come to the back. We'll unpeg it from here and then unpeg it from here. So that's one arm done. So go and do the same thing on the other side. I'll do it off camera and be right back. All right, now that both arms are taken care of, we can take care of this backpack. Open this up. We're going to unpeg the head. It's just clipped in right here on this front piece. This will fold inwards. And hide away in there. You can close this up. And that will sandwich the head inside. Fold these little panels down like that and just leave those there for now. Come to here, we're going to fold out on this little claw piece. This actually swings around. Bring this down. And lift this back up on this double hinge right here. And leave everything like this for now because we got to take care of the legs. So come down here, I'm going to come to the back here. So there's a peg right here. Open this up. We're going to bring the foot down. Bring this up to here. On the front of the foot, fold the toe in. Back here, there's a little bit of complexity, but not much. So open up this panel right here. Unpeg this panel here. This will fold out of the way. Just rotate it down like this. It'll make sense later, so don't worry about the orientation of everything right now. This panel right here is going to fold around and peg into the top, right there. This is going to coordinate around. While you do that, flip this open and bring that around. And that's going to actually come all the way, and just make sure I've got everything. Oh, we got to flip this around too. So this panel right here, we're going to flip this around so you get the front grill there. And then now we can bring this down. Make sure this is out of the way. There you go. And then now you can line this up right here. And you can see that's going to make the front of the truck. All right, so fold this to the side so you have a little bit of room. Come to the bottom here. This knee pad is going to fold up to here. We're going to bend at the lower knee ratchet. So bend that all the way up. So it comes down and sits like this. This foot you're actually going to bring around and have that sit right there for now. Over here, we're going to bring this down later, but leave that up. It's going to peg in right there. This will sit right here. This will come to the front. There's a little peg right here for that grill to go into. Bring this down and rotate this up. So you get something like this. Okay. So other side is basically identical. It doesn't have this little peg. Actually fold that up. Other than that one little thing, everything is the same. So go ahead and do this side. I'll do it off camera. I'll be right back. All right, so here's how we're looking after getting both legs configured. You can see there's 1, 2, 3, 4 pegs in there to get this peg together. So squeeze it together and make sure that pegs in. This panel on the front also pegs in, so make sure that pegs in on down there. This will come down and clip in and hold that in place. Back here, these feet will come down, but we need to configure these. So get that right there. You can see there's a peg right there and a slot right here on the bottom of the foot. So bring the foot down and peg that into that green piece. So on this, bring this down, bring the foot down and tap it into that green piece. Then you can bring these down and clip that in. That kind of locks on the other side as well. So you're clipping it on the front and the back. All right. Just rotate these out of the way for now because we're going to take care of this. So on the front, you can just peg the, oops, I have that upside down, peg the shovel together. There's a over-under tab and then a peg. So you got to kind of slide it in, not just force it in. All right, bring this down and peg it into the side right there. There's a clip or peg and a slot right there. Bring it down, peg that in. So here's how we are looking right now. Make sure these are kind of at the same length. Come to the back. I'm going to bring this forward. There are 2 little clips right here in the front of this front engine or whatever it is that are going into here. And then on the bottom there's a peg that's going into here and here. Bring that down, bring it forward, and check all those clips at the same time. Kind of just got to look where they're going. There we go. And then bring this down, clip that in the front, clip it in the bottom. These will just sit right here on the side for now. Back here, you're going to bring this down, and that'll cover that little piece. This will rotate around, come up like this, and you can kind of leave that there. Come to the bottom here. We're going to take, not the swords, well, actually we need the swords too, but take the gun, fold that up, fold the handle up. You'll see there's a peg right here, a slot right there. So I think you can go either way. I don't think it matters. Maybe, let's see. Okay, I'm not 100% sure. I don't think it matters which way you go, but basically you can store the gun down there like that. Then on the sides, we're going to take these swords. We're going to open up this clip right here. Bring that down. Kind of angle it up forward. This peg will go into the side right here, so tab that in first. Then you can get this clipped into here. I don't love this, but it does, not only does it store the sword, but it makes a little bit of an armature here. So I guess, you know, it's part of it. It's part of the transformation. All right, and there is Pushing Machine Warrior in bulldozer mode. And it's a pretty good looking bulldozer. Get some nice little details and accents, caution symbols, silver accents, or gunmetal accents, silver accents up here, windshield wipers there, door handles, little silver for the wheels on the tracks. The tracks do have wheels on the bottom, so they can roll, which is nice. A lot of the MP versions, like the Advanced Toys version, doesn't have that. I'm not a huge fan of this. I do like the weapon storage. You actually put it there. It does have function, but it limits the movement of this. So to me, that's not very useful. I'm going to take those off. But it is nice that they thought about that. Without that on there, though, you can lift this up all the way up to there. It does extend in and out, of course, on these pistons. You know, I think that's a cool thing. You don't see that often, things like that on masterpiece scale figures. You know, usually the details are not there, so that's kind of neat. You know, I like that. You do get this little claw thing on the back, and of course it's stowing the gun down there. It does have sort of red for the back, kind of like tail lights, and then this little thing dragging behind. Overall, a nice looking vehicle. For size comparison, there it is next to the MP10 Optimus Prime. Fits in nicely in the masterpiece scale. Decent sized trucks. So, I mean, this whole set is kind of a larger set in general. So it does feel like, you know, they're actual construction vehicles. All right, now let's get them transformed into combined mode. It's actually really simple compared to a lot of figures we looked at lately. Go ahead and lift up the shovel. We're going to fold this panel down. We're going to lift this all the way up until it gets to here. You'll see two little pegs on the roof of the truck. And back here you see little spots. So bring this back, get that pegged in right there. And then fold these down. Fold this down on top. You should have these folded down as far as they'll go. So it'll look something like this. Come to the back here, lift up these toes, unpeg the gun, you can set that aside. We're going to rotate this around 180 degrees. This will come down and sit right here. These will come down. I'm not sure if it's supposed to plug in or just sit on top. It seems like it could just sit on top. I don't see a place for it to actually plug. If it is, maybe it's plugging into the toe, but it doesn't feel like it's actually plugging in. Same on this side. Bring that down. I guess tab it in to the toe. Then you're going to unplug the treads, rotate it up. There's a peg right here now, so you can plug that into the side. So find the spot and then tab that in. Should be up at an angle like this. Same on this side, unpeg this, bring it up, and get it tabbed in to that slot. And then bring in your Megatron leg, and we do a little bit of transforming here. So pull out on these, which will allow you to pull back on the heel. Fold out the hand. Fold up on the heel piece. Fold down on the toe. Bring this back together. Just make sure these kind of clip in place. And then you'll have this little slot which will go onto this tab. And let me just make sure we're configured correctly. This should be on the outside of the arm, and this is going right here. So slide this onto this peg right here. There's two little clips that are going to close in on after you slide it on. So slide it on all the way. You should get it all the way on. Then once you get it all the way on, close up these retaining clips on each side. Alright, and there he is in arm mode. And really quite nice the way they've done it. We got good color and detail on this overall. I like how this shovel ended up covering the side of the arm to make it look more like the arm. You got this treads on an angle, which is pretty cool. For articulation, I believe it's going to attach somewhere here. I'm not 100% sure. I'm guessing, right here it's going to slide on, but don't know for certain. But you got a rotation here at the elbow, 90-degree bend at the elbow on a ratchet, nice strong ratchet. Rotation at the wrist. You have individually articulated fingers at 1, 2, 3 pins. They do splay out, so you can get a little bit of outward movement like that. Thumb is on a ball joint and 2 pins, so you can rotate it. Nice big hands for this guy. I don't think we've gotten the gun yet, or if we did, I forgot, but I have been doing all the combine modes for these. So when we get to the full combine mode, we've got, I think, 2 more to go. Then I will just be assembling them, but pretty cool. And for size comparison, there it is next to the Toy World Constructor and their version of Bonecrusher. And they're about the same size. Overall, the shoulder is bigger here, but arm proportions are very similar. So I think they're going to be similar in size to the Toy World Constructor when they're done. So final recommendations on the Dreamstar Toys Pushing Machine Warrior. Despite the name, I'm going to give this a 5 out of 5 strong recommendation. And this is one of the coolest versions of Bonecrusher I've seen. It is very stylized, so it's not for everybody, but he does feel like a Bonecrusher, like the character comes through. I like the accessories, the transformation's fun, both modes, going to both vehicle mode and combine mode. Combine mode looks like it's going to be really good. We'll see. And just overall, it's just a fun figure, and it looks really good. Now, it's not my kind of Bonecrusher, right? It's not the kind of Bonecrusher I would want. But I can see the appeal. I mean, these are really good quality figures, especially compared to what we got the first time around with Dreamstar Toys. They've really improved here, and I think, it's a step up from where they were. I'm excited to see where this ends with the combined mode. I think it's going to look pretty cool. But that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks again to Brian W., and we'll see you next time.